I'll never forget this moment, doctor. A 72-year-old man named Robert was sitting at his breakfast table when suddenly his right hand froze midair. He tried to speak, but the words came out twisted, a slur of sounds that made no sense. His wife thought he was choking, but it wasn't his throat. It was his brain, starving for blood. And yet, before the ambulance arrived, Robert did something that shocked the paramedics. It may have saved his life. I know that story. He performed a simple breathing and pressure technique, one that helps push blood back toward the brain when every second matters. Most people don't even realize their body can do that. Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, a neurologist and longevity doctor who spent over 7 decades studying the aging brain. And sitting across from me is one of the world's most respected physicians still practicing medicine past 100 years of age, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, Japan's legendary longevity expert. Thank you, Howard. I'm grateful to be here because what we're discussing today isn't theory, it's survival. Every 40 seconds, someone in America suffers a stroke. But what happens in the first 3 minutes can decide whether you walk again, speak again, or even wake up again. That's a chilling reality. And what makes it worse is that many seniors don't recognize what's happening until it's too late. They feel dizzy, maybe drop a spoon or lose vision in one eye and think, I'll rest for a minute. But that delay can cost everything. True. But here's the hopeful side. Recent research from the University of Tokyo and Harvard Medical School shows that certain positioning and breathing techniques can temporarily stabilize blood flow to the brain while waiting for help. It doesn't replace emergency care, but it buys time. And in stroke medicine, time is brain. So if you're over 60 and you're listening now, don't tune out. In this episode, we'll reveal the early warning signs your body gives you seconds before a stroke and the scientifically proven circulation trick that can keep blood moving to your brain until paramedics arrive. It's simple, safe, and something you can learn in the next few minutes. And by the end, you'll understand not only what to do, but why it works. Doctor, before we talk about the trick itself, I think we need to understand what actually happens during a stroke. Most people imagine it as an instant blackout, but that's not always the case, is it? Not at all. A stroke often starts quietly. Think of the brain like a city powered by electricity. Every thought, every movement is a light bulb. When a blood clot blocks one of the power lines, even for a few seconds, part of the city goes dark. Sometimes that darkness lasts only minutes, what we call a mini stroke, or TIA, but it's the body's loudest whisper that something worse could be coming. I like that phrase, the body's loudest whisper, because many seniors dismiss those early signals. They'll say, my arm just felt heavy for a moment, or I lost my balance for a few seconds. But those aren't random accidents. Exactly. Those moments are warning flares from the brain. The clot may form in the neck, the heart, or even from hardened arteries in the legs. When it travels to the brain, oxygen gets cut off and brain cells begin to die within minutes. But in the earliest phase before complete blockage, there's a brief window where the body can still compensate. That's when this circulation technique can make a difference. So, the real key is recognition, knowing when that window has opened. What are the earliest signs seniors should never ignore? Sudden numbness or weakness on one side of the body? Trouble finding words or speech that sounds slurred? A drooping face, blurred vision, dizziness, or a pounding headache that appears out of nowhere? But here's what surprises most people. Those signs can appear for just 60 seconds and vanish. And when they vanish, people think they're safe. They're not. It means the clock has started. That's terrifying but empowering too. Because if you can identify those moments, you can act fast, precisely. Modern studies, including a 2024 review from the Journal of Stroke Medicine, found that patients who took immediate stabilizing action, like lying flat, regulating breathing, and applying the right kind of gentle limb pressure, had significantly better outcomes before professional care arrived. Now let me share something that proves just how powerful awareness can be. I once met a retired teacher named Margaret, 68 years old, full of life and energy. One morning, while tending to her garden, she suddenly felt her right hand lose strength. The watering can fell, her vision blurred for a second, and her tongue felt heavy. but she remembered an article she'd read about early stroke signs. Instead of dismissing it, she immediately lay flat on her back, right there in the grass, took slow, deep breaths, and used her other hand to rhythmically press her palm against her thigh to encourage blood flow. Her husband rushed to call emergency services. By the time the ambulance arrived, she had regained some clarity and partial control. Doctors later said that because she had increased blood flow through proper positioning and calm breathing, she prevented severe damage. Today, Margaret still sends me a Christmas card every year, and every time I see her handwriting steady and firm, I'm reminded that awareness and a few calm actions can literally save a life. The same principle applied to me personally one morning when I was 83. I woke up feeling lightheaded, and when I reached for my glasses, my right arm felt heavy. My vision blurred slightly, and my words wouldn't come out properly when I tried to call my wife. Decades of neurology instinct kicked in. I immediately lay flat, controlled my breathing, and stayed still. Within 2 minutes, my clarity returned. Later, at the hospital, the scans confirmed it: a transient ischemic attack, a warning shot. It was humbling to be on the patient's side for once, but it taught me something profound. Even after years of teaching these techniques, I had now lived them, and they worked. This is why understanding your body is so powerful. The brain is fragile but not helpless. Your body has backup systems that can sustain it if you respond quickly. When oxygen drops, every second counts. The difference between panic and preparation could mean the difference between recovery and lifelong struggle. That's why if you're over 60, you must know this 3-minute trick. The moment you notice dizziness, slurred speech, a drooping face, or weakness on one side, lie down flat. Do not sit upright because gravity will fight your blood flow. Breathe slowly, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Each calm breath stabilizes blood pressure and improves circulation. Then apply light rhythmic pressure with the stronger hand or leg as it encourages nervous and vascular reflexes to push blood toward the struggling side of the brain. These are not complicated moves, they're nature's built-in defense mechanisms. I recall another case, a man named Dennis, a 70-year-old carpenter who ignored his body's warnings. He felt a sudden dizziness while sanding a piece of wood, and his hand trembled slightly. He shrugged it off, thinking it was fatigue. By the time his wife found him 15 minutes later, the stroke had fully developed. He survived, but lost partial movement in his left arm permanently. When I visited him during rehab, he looked at me and said, "Doctor, if only I'd listened to my body for 1 minute, I might still be working in my shop." That moment haunts me because it shows how thin the line between awareness and regret can be. Dr. Hinohara used to say, "The human body whispers before it screams." And that's what I want every senior to remember today. The body doesn't betray you without warning. It speaks softly, gives signals, sends sensations, all clues that your inner systems need help. The question is whether you're listening. In stroke medicine, the phrase "time is brain" isn't just poetic, it's literal. Every minute of lost oxygen kills brain cells that control memory, speech, movement, and balance. But if you act within that golden window, those first 3 minutes, you can keep the brain alive long enough for professional help to do the rest. So here's your plan of action. Recognize the signs. Respond instantly. Lie flat, breathe slow, apply gentle pressure, and always, always call emergency services without delay. Even if the symptoms vanish in a minute, the clock is still ticking inside your body. It's not fear we should carry into aging, but readiness. You don't need to be young to be strong. You need to be aware. The same body that walked you through storms and memories now holds the tools to protect you. You just have to use them. That's why we're sharing this today, not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because when you understand what's happening inside, you no longer feel powerless. You become your first responder. And that's what the inner spark is all about. The knowledge that the power to heal, survive, and live with dignity still burns inside you, no matter your age. If you like this video, then like my channel Desi, and subscribe to my channel The Inner Spark, and also share it with your friends. Because when you share awareness, you're not just spreading information, you're saving lives, one spark at a time.